Sometimes in life we give everything we have, the effort, the patience, the faith. Yet there comes a time when it feels like life has closed its doors on us. We wonder if all the sacrifices, all the sleepless nights, were worth anything at all. And in those moments we feel small, lost, almost like we no longer recognize the person we've become. Far away beyond valleys and rivers stood an ancient forest, and deep in its heart, upon the tallest cedar tree lived an owl. But not just any owl. His wings stretched wide, his eyes glowed bright, and his wisdom was said to pierce even the darkest night. When he flew, he glided with such grace that the wind itself seemed to slow down to watch. When storms howled, he sat calm, unshaken, for his eyes could see further than fear itself. Animals whispered, "This owl is the guardian of the forest." His voice was calm, his strength steady, and even the shadows seemed to bow before him. He was the teacher, the protector, the one others trusted. But life tests even those who seem unshakable. One night, as the moon was hiding behind thick clouds, a great fire swept through the forest. Branches cracked, flames roared, smoke blinded his sight. The owl tried to guide the smaller birds to safety, but the fire grew wild, swallowing the trees, choking the sky. And in one desperate flight, his wings caught the flames. He tumbled down, striking the earth with such force that silence fell around him. When dawn arrived, the guardian of the forest lay broken. His feathers burned, his eyes dim, his body trembling. But the deepest wound was not on his wings, it was inside, in his spirit. The owl who once carried wisdom and courage could no longer lift his head. Days turned into nights. He sat on a low branch, unable to fly, unable to guide. Small creatures whispered, "The wise one has fallen. He's no longer who he was." And with every passing day, hope drained from his heart. Yet in that same forest lived a tiny turtle. She walked slowly, patiently, never in a hurry. Each morning she passed the owl, sometimes pausing, sometimes silent. Until one day she looked up and said, "You may not believe it now, but scars do not only mean loss. Sometimes they mean survival. Sometimes they mean you're being shaped into someone even stronger." She led him to an old stag. Silver antlers, steady eyes, known by all as the elder of the woods. The stag looked at the owl, not with pity, but with warmth. He said, "Your wings do not make you wise. Your flight does not make you strong. It is your will, your courage to rise again when the world believes you cannot. That is your true gift." Those words stirred something within the owl. He closed his eyes and remembered the very first night he learned to fly, his mother's voice whispering, "The sky does not belong to the fearless, it belongs to the ones who try again, even after they fall." With pain in his body, but fire in his heart, the owl stretched his wings. They hurt, yes, but they still held strength. He looked at the same sky that once betrayed him, and in one breath he rose. Not as high as before, not as fast, but higher than his doubt, higher than his fear. And with every beat of his wings, he reclaimed not only the sky, but himself. Life is no different. Every one of us falls. Some through failures, some through heartbreak, some through loss. Some choose to remain on the ground, living in regret. But some, like the owl, dare to rise again, and when they do, their strength is no longer just for themselves. It becomes hope for everyone watching. Because in the end, true victory does not belong to those who never fall. It belongs to those who fall, break, heal, and rise, stronger, freer, and wiser than ever before. And that day, the forest whispered once more, "The guardian has returned."